Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So here we are back at our London Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math branch. Feels like home. And especially we're fortunate to have Vishakha Devī's association.
I'm fortunate to be here with all of you. Everyone knows.
And Saraswati Didi has just returned from grand tour. And I've just arrived from Ireland and had some very lovely programs with the devotees there. You'll meet some of them in Italy. Somya, Sham and Vijay, they're also going. And very beautiful to see, how the devotees, you all know them, they're famous by now. They have so much enthusiasm. And the temple is developing more and more. You were there in March.
Have they started the renovation?
They had some delays, and just now they're starting.
Oh,
Yeah. Now one devotee is actually taking care of the coordination. It's very complicated, actually. You must know this here. But maybe there it's more difficult, like coordinating all the workers, and the workers are reluctant to work unless they get paid like a huge amount, and then they have to hire a lot of tools. But now they're fine. Now, just like today, it's going to start.
Mm-hmm.
So
a good day
yeah.
to start. And they're actually in Italy now?
They're traveling today or last night. Actually, they had a difficult flight, I think, leaving at this morning, 3 a.m. was their flight from Dublin. So they took a night bus to Dublin last night. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they must have arrived by now, yeah.
And they are coming here also?
That's right, they're coming here too, yeah. Yeah.
And before that, you went to Portugal?
Yes, Portugal and Hungary. Yeah, Portugal, Hungary, yes.
It's nice to see all the devotees, right? And get them together.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Gurudev would be happy. Everyone is going on with their seva. Lavanya Didi's here. Jai Lavanya Didi. Okay, so we'll continue. Actually, funnily enough, I was at Suvasini Didi's house too. She's in the same place.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because I left here, we were at Ādi-līlā chapter 5, we're just finishing it. And she was in the...
We start in the chapter today.
Yeah, chapter 9, yeah. Yeah, we read the previous chapter when I was at her house, about receiving, when Krishna's Kaviraj receives the Agya Mala, right, the garland of instruction, when he receives the blessings from the Govindaji deity to begin writing Caitanya-caritāmṛta.
Madan Mohan.
Did I say Govindaji? I said Govindaji. I'm mixing things up.
We were testing them yesterday.
Uh-huh.
That was
Yeah,
very
Madan
beautiful, right?
Mohan.
The Govinda Mala is for him.
The Agya Madan Mohan. You said Govinda.
Did I say?
Because I mixed you up now. I was thinking of Baladev Vijayabhushan, right? Because he receives the blessing of the Govindaji deity to write the Govinda Bhashyam. But yeah, here, Madan Mohan deity. And now we're on chapter 9 now. Okay. Dasa Vrindavanam Vande Krishna Dasa Prabhum Tata Chanavatar Caitanya-caritāmṛta Distarkarino Do Nityananda Parabja Karunarena Bhushito Vyaktachano Burachincho Vavande Vyasadupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindascha Ganaisaha Jayanti Patakascha Sarvesham Gurunartina. So beginning chapter 9 of the Ādi-līlā. Tam Śrīmāt Krishna Caitanya Devam Vande Jagadgurum Yasyanu Kampaya Swapi Mahabdim Santarit Sukham. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual master of the entire world, Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even a dog can swim across a great ocean. I'll read this purport. Sometimes it is to be seen that a dog can swim in the water for a few yards and then come back to the shore. Here, however, it is stated that if a dog is blessed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can swim across an ocean. Similarly, the author of Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, placing himself in a helpless condition, states that he has no personal power, but by the desire of Lord Chaitanya, expressed through the Vaishnavas and Madan Mohan Vigraha, it is possible for him to cross over a transcendental ocean to present Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Swami Maharaj's purports are so sweet, actually. There was one in the previous chapter we read with Suvasini. Let me find it. It was so charming, one of his expressions. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it now. Here it is. It's so charming here. Because, Kaviraj Goswami speaking about how he came to write Caitanya-caritāmṛta, right? And Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, he's drawing a parallel with himself, right, in a humble way, because he's also presenting so much literature, right, and working so hard, writing all these purports and so on, and so he's drawing some parallel there. And so this chapter, he's kind of mentioning some of his own feelings about that as well. And here it is. This is very sweet. The secret in a devotee's writing is that when he writes about the pastimes of the Lord helps him. He does not write himself. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Since a devotee writes in service to the Lord from within gives him so much intelligence that he sits down near the Lord and goes on writing books. Such a devotee writes in service to the Lord, and Lord from within gives him so much intelligence that he sits down near the Lord and goes on writing books. So simple and charming and profound at the same time. Very simple language. And he's actually revealing his own experience, right, in his own work. And of course, Srila Swami Maharaj, he did a lot of his work staying in the Radha Damodar temple, right? There was that kind of interim period, right, when he left his family life and before he went on to start his great mission around the world, right? There was that interim period when he's, in a very solitary, poor way, right, humble way, in that small room, right? We've seen that room in the Radha Damodar temple, right next to our temple, and he's working on writing these books, these purports, and not knowing, right, what is in the future, but feeling that inspiration within his heart, right? Having that blessing from the Lord, from his Guru. It's quite extraordinary. Okay, we'll go back to where we are. Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gaur Chanda Jai Jai Dvaita Jai Jai Nityananda. All glories to Shri Krishna Chaitanya, who is known as Gaura Hari. All glories to Advaita and Nityananda Prabhu. Jaya Jaya Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Gan Sarva Bishta Purti Hetu Jahar Smaram. All glories to the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, headed by Shiva's Thakur. In order to fulfill all my desires, I remember their lotus feet. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath. I also remember the 6 Goswamis, Rup, Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva, Gopal Bhatta and Das Raghunath. Isab Prasade Likhe Caitanya-caritāmṛta Gun Jani Vana Jani Kori Apana Shodan. It is by the mercy of all these Vaishnavas and Gurus that I attempt to write about the pastimes and qualities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whether I know or know not, it is for self-purification that I write this book. Wow. Malakara Swayam Krishna Premamar Tadu Swayam Tata Bhakta Tavatlanam Yastam Chaitanya Mashaye. I take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who himself is the tree of transcendental love of Krishna, its gardener, and also the bestower and enjoyer of its fruits. So now we're coming to this kind of elaborate discussion of this tree, right? Tree of divine love. And in these coming chapters, we hear about all the branches, right, of that tree. So now that whole discussion is starting. And it begins with this extraordinary statement that Mahaprabhu is simultaneously, he himself is this tree of Krishna Prema. He's also the gardener of that tree. And he's also the distributor and the enjoyer of the fruits of that tree. Prabhu kohe ame vishwambar namaduri nam sarthak hoye jadi preme vishwabudi. The Lord thought, my name is Vishwambar, one who maintains the entire universe. Its meaning will be actualized if I can fill the whole universe with love of Godhead. Ita chinte loila prabhu malakara dharma navadvipe arambila phalodhyana karma. Thinking in this way, he accepted the duty of a planter and began to grow a garden in Navadvip. Shri Chaitanya malakara Pritivite ani bhakti kalpataruropila cinchi chapani. Thus the Lord brought the desired tree of devotional service to this earth and became its gardener. He sowed the seed and sprinkled upon it the water of his will. Jai Shri Madhavapuri Krishna Premapur Bhakti Kalpataruteho Pratamankur. All glories to Shri Madhavendra Puri, the storehouse of all devotional service unto the Lord. He is a desired tree of devotion, and it is in him that the seed of devotion first fructified. Shri Shradapuri Rupe Ankar Pushta Hoelo Apane Chaitanya Mali Skanda Upajilo. The seed of devotional service next fructified in the form of Shri Ishwarapuri, and then the gardener himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, became the main trunk of the tree of devotional service. So this is quite significant, of course, right? Because it is Madhavendra Puri who's considered to be the beginning of Mahaprabhu's line in this world, actually, right? That the specific flavor, a specific type of divine love that Mahaprabhu distributed, that particular mood of Vrindavan love, that first appeared in this world in the heart of Madhavendra Puri, right? And so And sometimes we'll hear this ankur, like sprout, this prem ankur, the sprout of divine love. Madhavendra Puri is described like that, the sprout of divine love. And so that first appeared in this world, the beginnings of it in Madhavendra Puri, then his disciple was Ishvara Puri, and then Mahaprabhu took that role, or showed himself in that way as taking initiation from Ishvara Puri, right? And so this is our real lineage, actually, right? Like formally, we will say, oh, we're the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, right? We're a branch of the Brahma Madhva, that lineage from Lord Brahma to Madhva Acharya, that of these four principal Vaishnava lineages, we're like a branch of that one. That is like how we will formally say. But actually, Mahaprabhu, he doesn't, he has his own thing going on, right? He's independent. He doesn't need to, to be considered a part of another lineage. So his real lineage starts here by his own will, right? That through his will, Madhavendra Puri became the carrier of that, mood, right? And thereby the beginning of this line. So Madhavendra Puri has this very special position. And of course we see, and there's more discussion of that later in the Ādi-līlā, how Madhavendra Puri, what's very, particularly special about him is that he expresses that mood of separation of Radharani, right? In his last days, through, by the mercy and will of Srimati Radharani herself, and then this very unique mood of separation from Krishna, that is her property, right? That comes into the heart of Madhavendra Puri. And then he's venting that in his last days, right? But that will all be discussed more later. Shri Ishwar Puri Rupe I read that already. Nija chincha shakya male hoya skanda hoye saka shakar se skanda mula shwe. By his inconceivable powers, the Lord became the gardener, the trunk, and the branches simultaneously. Okay, now we're going to hear lots of names. Paramananda Puriyar Keshava Bharati, Brahmananda Puriyar Brahmananda Bharati, Vishnu Puri Keshava Puri, Puri Krishnananda, Shri Nrsimha Tirthar Puri Sukhananda, Enavamunika Shilo Rika Mule, Enavamule Rika Korilo Nishchale. Paramananda Puri Keshava Bharati, Brahmananda Puri and Brahmananda Bharati, Shri Vishnu Puri, Keshava Puri, Krishnananda Puri, Shri Nrsimha Tirtha. These are all, sannyas, I was going to say it. These are all sannyasis who had like senior positions in Mahaprabhu's group. This Puris and also Tirtha, they're like sannyas titles, as I recall. So you hear there are a lot of Puris here. Shri Nrsimha Tirtha and Sukhananda Puri, these 9 sannyasi roots all sprouted from the trunk of the tree. Thus the tree stood steadfastly on the strength of these 9 roots. Madhyamul Paramananda Puri Mahadir Ashtadika Ashtamo Vika Koilos dear. With the sober and grave Paramananda Puri as the central root, and the other 8 roots in the 8 directions, the tree of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood firmly. Skande upare bahu shaka upadilo, upadi shaka sankhya hoilo. From the trunk grew many branches, and above them innumerable others. Visha shaka kori ek manda, maha shaka chailo, brahmanda saka. Thus the branches of the Caitanya tree formed a cluster or society with great branches covering all the universe. Purport. Our International Society for Krishna Consciousness is one of the branches of the Caitanya tree. So then we can also say our Guru Maharaj's mission must be one of those branches, right? Also. That's all the purport is. It's by the way, we also count. Ekaiko shagate upa shaka shata shata jata upa jilo shaka kegoni bekoto. From each branch grew many hundreds of sub-branches. No one can count how many branches thus grew. And actually, this is a very beautiful harmonizing vision, isn't it? You know, that can protect us from like sectarian or, you know, narrow-minded view, right? Because often, you know, persons may have conflict, right, between different missions, or persons may have some mentality, ours is the best, right, or only our guru, no one else, right? But actually this is very beautiful harmonizing vision. These are all branches, right? These are all branches of the same tree. All part of the same family. Family, it's a family tree. We can think of it like a family tree. Mahaprabhu's family. Mukya mukya shakagane namaganan ageto karibo shuno vike varnan. I shall try to name the foremost of the innumerable branches. Please hear the description of the Caitanya tree. Vike upare shaka hoilo dui skanda ekadvaita nama nityananda. At the top of the tree, the trunk branched into two. One trunk was named Sri Advaita Prabhu, and the other Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Sedui skande bahu shaka upajilo, dhar upashaka gane jagata chailo. From these two trunks grew many branches and sub-branches that covered the entire world. Burushaka upashaka tar upashaka jata upajilota kekori beleka. These branches and sub-branches and their sub-branches became so numerous that no one can actually write about them. Shishya prashishya upashishya gan jagapya pilota nahiko ganan. Thus the disciples and the grand disciples and their admirers spread throughout the entire world, and it is not possible to enumerate them all. Udambar vika jeno fole sarva ange mata bhakti vika sarvacha falage. As a big fig tree bears fruits all over its body, each part of the tree of devotional service bore fruit. Muskander. I'll read this purport. This tree of devotional service is not of this world. It grows in the spiritual world where there is no distinction between one part of the body and another. It is something like a tree of sugar, for whichever part of such tree one tastes, it is always sweet. The tree of bhakti has varieties of branches, leaves, and fruits, but they are all meant for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are 9 different processes of devotional service, but all of them are meant only for the service of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, whether one hears, chants, remembers, or worships, his activities will yield the same result. Which one of these processes will be most suitable for a particular devotee depends upon his taste.
Sorry? The end of the sentence?
which one of these processes, of these 9, will be the most suitable for a particular devotee depends upon his taste. Muskande shaka upashaka gane lagila je prema phal amrita ke dine. Since Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the original trunk, the taste of the fruits that grew on the branches and sub-branches surpassed the taste of nectar. Pakilo je prema phal amrita madur vilai chaitanya male nahi lo emol. The fruits ripened and became sweet and nectarian. The gardener, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributed them without asking any price. Shri Jagate Jatache Dhanaratna Mani Ekafala Mulya Kori Tahanahi Gani. All the wealth in the 3 worlds cannot equal the value of one such nectarian fruit of devotional service. Magevana magekeho patrava patra iha vichar nahi jane deya matra. Not considering who asked for it and who did not, who was fit and who was unfit to receive it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed the fruit of devotional service. Purport: this is the sum and substance of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. There is no distinction made between those who are fit and those who are not fit to hear or take part in the Sankirtan movement. It should therefore be preached without discrimination. The only purpose of the preachers of the Sankirtan movement must be to go on preaching without restriction. That is the way in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the Sankirtan movement to the world. This is the program, right, of our gurus. And Saraswati Thakur, he gave this analogy of in the way that they breed cows in Vrindavan, that they're not considering, oh, is this a high-class cow or a low-class cow? But if there's some, potent, bull and there's some receptive female, then they're putting them together, right? And they're breeding cows. They're not thinking about their class, right? But so, in other words, he used this. He was connecting with the idea of Govardhan, right? Because Govardhan means increasing cows. There's one meaning of it. Go is cow, right? One meaning. Vardhan, increasing, so increasing cows. Govardhan. And so he said, in this way, we're spreading Krishna consciousness, right? Without consideration, who's high class, who's low class, who's worthy, who's unworthy. That was in a talk that Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he remembered. It was an incredible talk Saraswati Thakur gave in Vrindavan. 1 year during the Vrindavan Parikrama, Kartik Parikrama, he gave a talk on that, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj was very impressed. He remembered it like so many 30, 40, 50 years later. So he said, this is Govardhan conception, and this is how we want to spread Krishna consciousness. Whoever has some open heart, right, who's receptive, and we actually witnessed that, right? We witnessed that in the mood of Srila Govinda Maharaj, right? That he wasn't considering who's qualified, who's unqualified, who has a record, who doesn't have a record, right? But if they have an open heart for Krishna consciousness, he's very easily giving connection. And actually the Westerners in particular got so much mercy. They got so much mercy. Because generally what's recommended in the scriptures, you when it comes to initiation, right? I think it's in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Like wait 6 months, right, at least, and there will be like a period of examination, right? The guru will examine the disciple, and the prospective disciple will also, see if this is the right guru for me. Like it'll be like a 6 month at least, right? And then initiation, and that was what they followed in the Ma. That was Srila Sridhar Maharaj's standard. But Gurudev was very merciful with when he came to the West. It was like a mercy program, almost like a mood of emergency, right? He doesn't know when he will see them again, right, and what will happen. And even in Srila Sridhar Maharaj also, because it just struck me the other day. We were having some discussion with Gadadhar Prabhu in Ireland, and because I heard of some cases where Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he gave initiation to some children, Western children. I met some in Australia. I can't remember their names, but there were at least 2 or 3 cases, like 8-year-old children. Which, when you think about it, is actually quite surprising, because Srila Sridhar Maharaj was more conservative, and I'm sure that wouldn't normally have been his practice. But feeling some extra mercy towards the Westerners, I think because of that. So and how Srila Gurudev actually showed such a beautiful example of Mahaprabhu's mission in this world, right? Traveling all over the world so gloriously and connecting so many souls. Anjali, Anjali, Anjali. Handfuls after handfuls, right, of fruit he's giving out. Anjali, Anjali, Bodhi, Fele Chator Dishe, Dadidra Kudayakai, Malakar Hase. The transcendental gardener, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributed handful after handful. So we hear this word, right, Pushpanjali, right? Handfuls of flowers we're offering, right? It's a very, very nice word. So Mahaprabhu's handing out handfuls of these fruits, divine love. He distributed handful after handful in all directions, and when the poor, hungry people ate the fruit, the gardener smiled with great pleasure. Malakar koe shuna vrika parivar, ma mula shaka upashaka jate prakar. Lord Chaitanya thus addressed the multifarious varieties of branches and sub-branches of the tree of devotion. Alokik vika kore sarvendriya karma, stava hoya dore jangame dharma. Since the tree of devotion is transcendental, every one of its parts can perform the action of all the others. Although a tree is supposed to be immovable, this tree nevertheless moves. Evikyanga hoye sab sachetan, badiya vyapilo sobe saka bhuvan. All the parts of this tree are spiritually cognizant, and thus as they grow up, they spread all over the world. Ekala malakarami kaha kaha jabo, ekala vakotofo podiya vilabo. I am the only gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick and distribute? Purport. Here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indicates that the distribution of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra should be performed by combined forces. We cannot do it alone. Even Mahaprabhu is saying, I'm only one gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick? I need help. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he laments, how can I act alone? How can I alone pick the fruit and distribute it all over the world? This indicates that all classes of devotees should combine to distribute the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without consideration of the time, place, or situation. Ekala utaya dite hoye parishram, keho paye keho na paye rohe mone brahm. It would certainly be a very laborious task to pick the fruits and distribute them alone. And still I suspect that some would receive them and others would not. Hateva miyagya dilo sabakare, jahataha premafo deho jade tare. Therefore, I order every man within this universe to accept this Krishna consciousness movement and distribute it everywhere. Wow. Did you hear that, Ananga Manjari? She's already got a plan going for, world distribution of Krishna consciousness. She asked me that once a few years ago. Now you're how old? Like 15? Yeah.
16.
You're 16. That time maybe you were like 13 or 14 or something. And she asked me very seriously one day, what tips can you give me on, spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world?
All over the world.
Yeah. So it was along those lines, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Ekala malakarami koto folakabo nadia vae folaroki koribo. I am the only gardener. If I do not distribute these fruits, what shall I do with them? How many can I alone eat? So we can't keep them all to ourselves, right? We have to share. Our gurus have given us so much treasure. We can't just keep it to ourselves. We have to share. As you all are doing. Atma icha mite vrika sinchi niranta tahate asankhya pho vike upar. By the transcendental desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, water has been sprinkled all over the tree, and thus there are innumerable fruits of love of Godhead. Ateva sabha deho jare tade kaya hoklo kajaramade. Actually, you should ask Devi Shakti that question. She can answer that. She still goes out. We're all following you, Devi Shakti. You're the original. You're the OG here.
No. What's the OG?
The original.
Yeah, right.
Distribute this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Let people eat these fruits and ultimately become free from old age and death. Jagat vyapi amor hobe punya kyati sukhi hoye alok mor kahibe ka kirti. If the fruits are distributed all over the world, my reputation as a pious man will be known everywhere, and thus all people will glorify my name with great pleasure. Purport. This prediction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is now actually coming to pass. The Krishna consciousness movement is being distributed all over the world through the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And people who were leading confused, chaotic lives are now feeling transcendental happiness. They are finding peace in Sankirtan, and therefore they are acknowledging the supreme benefit of this movement. This is the blessing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His prediction is now factually being fulfilled, and those who are sober and conscientious are appreciating the value of this great movement. Bharata, now this is a very famous verse here. Bharata bhumite hoilo manusya janma ja janma sartaka kore koroparupaka. You probably heard this verse from your father. Bharata bhumite hoilo manusya janma yar janma sartaka kore koroparupakar. One who has taken birth in the land of India should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. Because India, Bharat is called here Bharata Bhumi, Bharata Bhumite, original name of India. Actually, now they're changing it back, right? I don't know if it happened yet or not, to Bharat. So India is the blessed land, right? Is the chosen land, right? Place of the Lord's pastimes. And so one who takes birth there, they automatically have some advantage, right? Of course, they may not all take advantage of that advantage, but they have it. So one who has that advantage, they should use that and spread what is the real gift of India, right? What is the real treasure of India. And we can also take that in a broader way, and one who's come in connection with the wealth of India, they should share that with others, right? So that's a good one to remember for you. And you're even more special because you're from the Bengali side. You were born in England, is it? Or you were actually born in India?
I came here 2 years old.
Wow, you were born there. Wow. Well, then this is for you. You have that. That's your duty. Itavaj janma safalyam dehi. Wait, no. This is a quotation, I think. Itavaj janma safalyam dehina miha dehishu praner arter diavacha shreya acharanam sada. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with their life, wealth, intelligence, and words. I'll read this purport and then we will wrap things up. There are two kinds of general activities, shreyas, or activities which are ultimately beneficial and auspicious, and preyas, those which are immediately beneficial and auspicious. For example, children are very fond of playing. They don't want to go to school to receive an education, and they think that to play all day and night and enjoy with their friends is the aim of life. Even in the transcendental life of Lord Krishna, we find that when he was a child, he was very fond of playing with his friends. He was very fond of playing with his friends of the same age, the cowherd boys. He would not even go home to take his dinner. Mother Jashoda would have to come out to induce him to come home. Swami Maharaj's purport, some of them are very charming. Very charming. Thus it is a child's nature to engage all day and night in playing, not caring even for his health and other important concerns. This is an example of prayas, or immediately beneficial activities. But there are also shreyas, or activities which are ultimately auspicious. So shreya and preya, these are two terms, right, used in the scripture. Shreya, that which is beneficial in the long term for our ultimate higher welfare, and then preya, what is more immediately pleasing, right? Sense gratification, in other words. According to Vedic civilization, a human being must be God-conscious. He should understand what God is, what this material world is, who He is, and what their interrelationships are. This is called Shreyas, or ultimately auspicious activity. In this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that one should be interested in Shreyas. To achieve the ultimate goal of Shreyas, or good fortune, one should engage everything, including his life, wealth, and words, not only for himself, but for others also. However, unless one is interested in Shreyas in his own life, he cannot preach of Shreyas for the benefit of others. This verse cited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu applies to human beings, not to animals. As indicated in the previous verse by the words Manushya Janma, these injunctions are for human beings. Unfortunately, human beings, although they have the bodies of men, are becoming less than animals in their behavior. This is the fault of modern education. Modern educators do not know the aim of human life. They are simply concerned with how to develop the economic condition of their countries or of human society. We hear that, I think it was, where was it? In Oregon, maybe. It was, and I think Yudamanyu Prabhu was there. It was some university where Srila Prabhupada was invited, and he gave a talk there. And I think that was where Yudamanyu first met Srila Prabhupada. Someone, I can't remember. But we hear that when the staff were showing Srila Prabhupada around the university, and you've probably heard this story, right? And he asked them, "Where's the department of the soul? Where's that department?" You know, that's what's actually useful, right, and meaningful. That's what's necessary. They are simply concerned with how to develop the economic condition of their countries or of human society. This is also necessary. The Vedic civilization considers all aspects of human life, including dharma, religion, artha, economic development, kam, sense gratification, and moksha, liberation. But humanity's first concern should be with religion. To be religious, one must abide by the orders of God, but unfortunately people in this age have rejected religion and they are busy in economic development. Therefore they will adopt any means to get money. For economic development, one does not need to get money by hook or by crook. One needs only sufficient money to maintain his body and soul. The Bhagavatam says that it is the duty of an advanced human being to act in such a way as to facilitate human society's attainment of the ultimate goal of life. Oh, maybe it's a good place to... I'll just read a couple more verses. Praninamupakarai jareveha parachacha karmana manasavacha dareva matimam bhajet. By his work, thoughts, and words, an intelligent man must perform actions which will be beneficial for all living entities in this life and in the next. Mali manushamar nahi rajadan fal fudiya kore punya uparjan. I am merely a gardener. I have neither a kingdom nor very great riches. I simply have some fruits and flowers that I wish to utilize to achieve piety in my life. This is Mahaprabhu's words. I am just a gardener. I don't have a kingdom or very great riches. I simply have some fruits and flowers that I wish to utilize to achieve piety in my life. My goodness. How beautiful. Okay, we will stop there for today. Jai Shri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana Sunil Hari Gopinatha Madana Mohana Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Madan Hara Shri Vasandi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Jai Gosai Gauri Charana Vandana Jaha Hoite Vignana Shabishta Purana Jai Gosai Dharmuita Nandasa Wait, that's wrong. Pansavada Padada Gura Panchadasa Hajara Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanebasa Janame Mo Hoya Vilasha Radha Giridhari Ki Jai, Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande.